Hi everybody, I'm just popping in here to let you guys know about a little trick I like to use in Pilates world. It's not just me, everybody in Pilates world likes to use this trick, but it's really great for the low back. So I noticed that there was an overwhelming amount of pain in the list that I asked you guys about last week, and when it came to what sort of things are you looking to up level in your health and wellness, like workouts, nutrition, support, emotional management, stress management, all those things. And a lot of people said workout, and when I dove a little deeper, a lot of it had to do with pain in your workout. So that's not good. That's not good at all. And nobody wants that because it does filter in and affect a whole plethora of other categories in your life. So I know I myself dealt with a little back injury a year and a half ago. So what I noticed, especially from Pilates world, low back is a big one, which is not surprising. We are very much seated these days. So there's a lot of low back, sitting a lot, even standing, because we put a lot of your PSI on your spine, your pressure on your spine. Depending on how you sit, depending on how you stand, depending on how you lie down, there's a lot of pressure, and then that compounds in that low back. You probably hear a lot of L4, L5, S1, right? Lumbar 4, lumbar 5, sacral 1. So this little trick is going to help with that. It's called a pelvic mobility exercise. It's just gonna help you mobilize and get a little more movement in that low back. And all you need is a fun little ball like this. You can get this at like Walmart or Target or any of those type places, just a nice little round ball. This one happens to be Cat in the Hat, doesn't have to be, but I prefer the Cat in the Hat and the Disney ones. Shocking, I know. So you're just gonna take this guy, this little ball, have a seat on your mat. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see. You're going to lie down, and this ball is gonna go right underneath your tailbone, right on your sacrum, okay? So if you were to take your fist, put it under there, you've got your tailbone, you've got your low spine, he's going right in the middle, kind of the back side of your pelvis, okay? And what that's gonna do is it's gonna tip your hips a little. Now, as you can see, I am in a little bit of like a hyperextension here. So what it's done is taken the lower part of my hips and it's tilted them this way, the opposite of when I'm sitting, right? So when I'm driving, which I do a lot here in LA, working at the desk, stuff like that. So it's now giving me that little bit of extension and opened up that low back and opened up my hip flexors. Now from here, all you're gonna do is think of taking this space in your low back here, and you want to think of imprinting that low back into the mat, okay? So that's gonna rock your hips back towards you into that seated position, right? Everything moved towards my head. And now I wanna create more space. So I'm gonna lengthen and lift. So now I can get like my whole arm under my low back. My hips just went that way towards my feet. I'm gonna rock back to imprint. I'm gonna rock back to lengthen. So I'm just taking my ASIS, my hip bones, they're rocking towards me, they're rocking away from me. I also like to use the analogy of my wine glasses sitting on my belly button. I'm gonna pour it into my mouth, yay! I'm gonna pour it away from my mouth, boo! I'm gonna pour it into my mouth, yay! I'm gonna pour it away from my mouth, boo! Right? So a couple notes here. I am not pushing through my feet. I am not pushing through my heels. I am not squeezing my butt. I am just opening up my low back. And then another way is to go side to side. So you're gonna find a neutral somewhere between imprinted and rocked. You're gonna find a neutral. And then we're just gonna rock side to side. Hip to rib, hip to rib. Now, while you're doing this, you can definitely incorporate some Pilates principles here. So I'm gonna lace my ribs, take those ribs, push them together. You can accomplish that by dropping your bra strap into the mat for the ladies. Men, don't pretend like you don't know where that bra strap is either. So at the bra strap, press it into the mat. You've got those ribs laced, your belly button is pulled into your spine, but you're not like clenching anywhere. This is to open up, okay? Now we're gonna do a pelvic clock. So you're going to tip your wine glass towards your mouth. Yay! Now to the right, now away, and then to the left. So now we're just making a circle with those hips and opening up that sacrum. We're gonna go 3, and now reverse. Left, towards the feet, right, imprint. Left, towards the feet, right, imprint. One more to stay even, towards the feet, right, and imprint. And that's a great pelvic mobility exercise. We're making more mobilization, more movement in the pelvis. Now, here's a fun one, right? So we do that, we've got some mobilization, but then another big aspect to back pain, low back pain, hip pain is pelvic stability. So we want our hips to be able to move, but we also need them to be stable. And they're actually kind of like two different systems here. So one more thing you can do with this ball here, keep that ball right where it's at, pull that belly button in, lace those ribs, neck is long, arms are gonna go long at your side, pressing into those floor, squeezing your armpits so your lats kicked on. And now without moving your hips, you are going to march one leg at a time. Now I like to put my hands right on my hip bones so that I can feel that they're not moving, they're not rocking. And that takes a lot of core work to keep that pelvis stable, because you will naturally want to shift your weight to the side that's not up in the air, and we want to stay nice and stable. Think about it, it's like when you're walking, you shift and shift, but ideally you're gonna stay nice and stable right over the center point. There's not gonna be a whole lot of rocking back to back. So, there you have it, a little bit of mobility and stability to help with some low back pain. Hopefully work that out a little bit and get a little more openness in that back, and hopefully alleviate some pressure. So leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys try it, if you like it, if you love it. Oh my gosh, it changed everything. Let me know, and I hope you guys find this really useful.